Have you ever stopped to notice what's around you? I don't mean who's sitting around you at this very moment. I mean, have you ever really stopped to notice the world around you as you go about your day-to-day business? How much of that world have you really had a part in making? It's clear, we are involved in the world. We drive the roads, we go to the stores, we attend the schools, churches, and athletic events. We use the Wi-Fi and cell phone networks. But how much of our world really did we help build? How much of this world do we just take for granted? There's more to this world than just the things in it, obviously. I say obviously, but it's not so obvious in our day-to-day, right? Think about it. How much of your day is spent dealing with the things of life? It seems like most people know more about the lives of Family Guy characters than they do about their own families. Some people can tell you what the quarterback of their favorite pro team eats before every game, but they can't tell you what their sister or brother wants to be when they grow up. I even sometimes spend more time between 8:30 a.m. and noon thinking about what I'm going to do for lunch, more than anything else. A lot of people, that's what their days are like. The trouble is, days add up. Soon we find ourselves sitting in a meeting or at a stoplight, and we wonder where it all went. Your good years? Well, they were fun. But when you look back, what did you leave behind? Predictably, most of us will grow up to live rather quiet lives. We'll get good, stable jobs where we'll work pretty hard to do our best. And we'll probably raise families, either our own children, or the kids in our troop, or even the hockey teams we coach. We'll grow up, we'll grow older. We'll grow into who we think life would have us be. We'll pay our taxes, vote in elections, sometimes speak up when there is injustice, and sometimes stay quiet when others needlessly pile on the weak. At the end of our lives, most of us will leave behind a quiet legacy. One of doing all we could with what we have. One of doing the right thing, even though it was uncomfortable. One of honoring our values, our families, our God, and our country humbly, by going about our daily business in a way that is respectable. I shared that thought with a friend not too long ago, and he said, yeah, if you think about it, we're like trees. One tree can completely change the landscape of an environment. A tree provides shade on a hot day, whether for a mother pushing her baby in a stroller, or for someone waiting for the bus. For some, trees are meeting places, which can become symbols of liberty. You may have heard of the Liberty Tree, where our forefathers gathered more than 200 years ago to organize around the tyranny of the Stamp Act. Many trees have served as their town's living Christmas tree year after year, standing as a constant tradition for generations. And if you're from the desert or the windswept plains, often you will see one tree standing in the middle of nowhere. It has grown and raised itself up against all odds, fighting against little water, little protection, and brutal conditions to mature and be a sanctuary for others. So trees can even become beacons for hope. Recently, I thought of an old children's story called The Giving Tree, about the relationship between a young boy and a tree in the forest who became best friends. The tree always provided for the boy with whatever he needed: branches to swing from, shade to sit under, even apples to snack on. As the boy grew older, he required more from the tree, and the tree always came through for him. When the boy wanted to build a house, the tree sacrificed its limbs for the boy. When in the ultimate act of self-sacrifice, the tree allowed the boy to cut its trunk to build a boat so that he may sail around the world, leaving his friend, the tree, as a seemingly worthless stump. Many years later, the boy, now an old man, returns to see his old friend. The tree says, "I have nothing more to give you." But the old man replies, "All I need now is a quiet place to rest." The tree happily offers his help by letting the man sit on her stump. The idea that you and I can give like the tree is a mighty one. But why? I guess it's that service is one of the most dependable roads to significance. The Order of the Arrow calls us to be leaders in cheerful service. Our leadership is not speeches and grandstanding, but the work of making a difference. We call it servant leadership. It's the kind of work that happens right before your eyes, but so often most of us don't even see it. One of the great men of the 20th century was a Nobel Prize-winning author, theologian, and physician named Albert Schweitzer. Once, when speaking to a graduating class, he shared with them his advice. "I don't know what your destiny will be, but one thing I do know. The only ones among you who will really be happy are those who have sought and found a way to serve." I don't know. Maybe none of this really matters. Maybe it all matters. Who knows? But one thing I've realized is that like that tree that gives cool shade on a hot day, the simplest of things I can do for others makes a difference. If we're here for nothing else, we're here because we've been called to make this world, this place, and the people we share it with a little better. Now, that just leaves one question. Where are you going to leave your mark?